Welcome back to the class. Under Community Organization and Social Action course, we are in the 5th unit, Social Action. So today, under Social Action, we are going to see the concepts. What is social action? Generally, social action involves organized efforts to influence public opinion or official policy or executive action to the purpose of groups or individuals. What does that mean? So, it involves organized efforts. So, all of a sudden we cannot pull the public or pull the people to get into an action where that action is going to influence the public opinion or an official policy. So if a group of people feels that the government policy is against the welfare state of the people, then they can get into this social action. So, social action is a method of social work. How it can be defined? It can be defined as efforts to bring about change or prevent change in current social practices or situations. So, this is the effort to bring about change or prevent change where in current social practices or situations. How we can prevent the change in social practices or situations? That can be taken care through education, educating the public, educating the group about the cause effects of the policies or the changes that is going to occur or going to take place, what impact it is going to have over the future. Then by propaganda, persuasion, or pressure on behalf of objectives believed by the actionist to be socially desirable. So, social action as a method of social work can be defined as efforts to bring about change or prevent change in current social practices or situations through education, propaganda, persuasion, or pressure on behalf of objectives believed by the actionist to be socially desirable. The characteristics of social action is it is concerned with the change in current social practice. It is not about the past. It is about the current change in current social practices, and it involves a good goal accepted as desirable and worthwhile. So it should be a desirable and a worthwhile goal. Just like that, we cannot go for social action for all chaos that is happening. Of that which is a worthwhile, which is really going to create an impact to the society, that will be taken as the goal of social action. It always involves an attempt to bring about action by people. It will not, though the social actionists take the measures, it will be done by the people with the guidance or with the discussions carried out with the social actionists. How it can be done, where it has to be done, to be carried out with the proper permission. It has to be priorly informed, all such things. So it involves attempt to bring about action by the people, underline by the people. It includes methods such as education, propaganda, persuasion or pressure. Sometimes you would have seen people doing road blockade or gangway for certain issues regarding TASMAC or regarding non-availability of supplies or water supply in their area. But it does not recommend physical coercion, caution or compulsion. So it is just showing their protest against the current social practice change. Social action to be identified with a certain method and procedures rather than certain social values. So forms of social action. So there are so many authors have taken about Buddha. So has identified two types of social action. So action initiated and conducted by elites for the benefits of the masses. So Brito has identified three submodels of each type. So two types he has taken. One is action initiated and conducted by the elites, and another is popular social action. So models, these two models, again he is classifying that into submodels. In the first model, he has mentioned the following types like legislative action model, sanction model, direct physical model. Legislative action model involves elites who try to modify the social policy by creating public opinion against the problem. In sanction model, the elites, by gaining control over some economic or political, social or religious weapon, by to obtain benefits for the society. Direct physical model, elites take action and punish those responsible for the cause of injustice. So, legislative model, like what to say? In legislative action model, the public opinion will be gathered. So, stronger the public opinion can change or modify the social policy. Sanction model and direct physical model are just like Tamil movies, like Nayagan or Kala, like that. So the previous slide talks about the elite social action model, and now we are going to see the popular social action model, which has three submodels like conscientization model based on Paulo Freire's concept of creating awareness among masses through education. Then dialectical model promoting conflict to exploit the contradictions in the system with the belief that a better system will emerge as a result. Direct mobilization, whereby specific issues are taken up by the actionist and the masses. In direct mobilization model, specific issues are taken up by the actionist. Say for example, the closure of Tasman. And the masses are mobilized to protest and strive to achieve the objectives. So, the women groups are educated, and they will get into the action by the ways of protest and strike, so that the closure of Tasman is achieved. So, no concept goes without principles. Social action too has a principle. So, principle of credibility building. So, if you want to gather people, or if you want people to listen, first you need to create credibility. So, credibility building is very much essential in concern to social action. Principle of legitimization. So, the process of convincing the public that the movement objective are legally and morally right. So, it is morally right, legally right. It has to convince both the aspects. Principle of dramatization. So dramatization is the principle of mass mobilization by which leaders of a movement motivates the population by emotional appeal to heroism, sensational use powerful slogans and other techniques. So in case of Jallikat protest, these techniques we have seen. Principle of multiple strategies. So 4 strategies are there, which is put forth by Zeltman and Duncan. They are like educational strategy, persuasive strategy, facilitative strategy, and power strategy, which is more or less the model created by the Plato. Principles of dual approach. The principle suggests that social actionists should build a counter system which is believed to be beneficial to the needs of the mobilized public on self-help basis without involving opponents. Principle of manifold programs. The principle recommends 3 categories of programs such as social program, economic programs and political programs. Next. What are the strategies to achieve social action? Bargaining, negotiating and advocacy. So these strategies include technique of bargaining, negotiation, publicity, which leads to discomfort for the target of change. So advocacy through the social, through the media, any type of media, or like Satyagraha, Dandi March method could also be used. March method could also be used to persuade and change the target group. Conflictual or confrontational. The strategy assumes that strong pressure tactics become necessary in some critical circumstances such as demonstration, civil disobedience or direct action. Techniques of social actions like involves variety of tactics, such often a combination of them depending on the philosophy, ideological belief of the sponsors. So these are the strategies like bargaining, negotiating, advocacy, confrontation or conflictual, and the techniques. So techniques of social action like fact-finding, publicity, advocacy, education, awareness building, mobilizing support, expressing anger, cooperation, collaboration, using slogans, negotiation, bargaining, arbitration, disruption, strong coercive tactics. So to finally steps, we need to identify the problem, which we believe that the change of the social practice is going to become an evil. So diagnosing it, gathering information about it, who the principal actor, what roles they play, what interest they have, and what benefit they derive. So all these has to be identified first. Then determining the positions to be taken. Who is going to lead? We are going to do where so many areas where it has to be done, under whose leadership it has to be done. Identifying the social action goals, then mobilizing support using both formal and non-formal methods, setting up the machinery to carry out the struggle, then laying down the strategy, laying down the communication channels, carrying out the action, reviewing the implementation of the strategy, alternate approaches, and sustaining the pressure. So these are the steps where social action can become successful. And awareness building, organizing people, developing strategy, and finally getting into action. We say in simple terms. So these are the references. I hope you understood the concept, and thank you.